caregivers need to be aware that culturally there isn't a discussion around sexual well-being or sex at all in these communities often. And for younger children, there usually isn't a discussion about what it feels appropriate, what doesn't feel appropriate, based on who the adults are in their lives or who the older people are in their lives. So they should be really mindful of understanding that any reaction is normal to what has happened to them, from confusion to anger to perhaps even equating what happened with them with it's common or it's normal, or that was that person's way of showing me affection or love, especially if it's abuse that's happened within the family or happening within the camps. And violence that they've witnessed is something that they'll hold in their bodies and in their minds without having words to describe it. So caregivers just should know that there's many different reactions and many different ways it can manifest. Some of the ways the experience of sexual assault or abuse can manifest are feelings of fear, anxiety, anger, emotional outbursts, isolation, emotional disconnectedness. Some of the older teenagers may engage in riskier behaviors to sort of forget what happened. They may become more impulsive, more loud, and they also may have a lot of confusing feelings toward the idea of physical touch or affection. So it's really important that you set boundaries with yourself in terms of not being overly familiar, overly friendly, and introducing physical touch only if it's asked for. Some other signs of trauma manifesting can be a sense of recklessness, an inability to have routine, a sense of powerlessness, helplessness. And many of these children already feel these things, having been displaced, not having a sense of home or rootedness. So it's very important that they have an environment in which the things that they can expect every day happen every day. That they see adults that they trust and that can be positive role models, that they see those people every day, and that they have certain activities linked with those caregivers. For example, in the morning, if they always have breakfast with a certain group around, that can be really helpful in restoring that sense of routine and power. They should really direct their own choices, and it's really important that caregivers allow a little bit of that freedom so that they can ask, what would you feel like doing? What would help you best right now? What would make you feel more calm? Those are questions that help, especially a younger child, sort of name their feelings and understand what they're going through.